So, at long last, we're out of this bloody lockdown and we can go fishing next Monday, 29th of March 2021. Well, I'm going to go after rays, and so what I've got is my bluey, which I'm going to prepare now. This has just come out of the freezer, so I've never used this before. I don't know what this is going to be like. I've watched all the YouTube videos, so I'm hoping I can put into practice what I've seen. Right, bluey, there we are. Fish from the Pacific Ocean. We're going to cut off its head about there. Cool. It's hard work doing this in the frozen state. There we are. I'm going to save the head because that might come in handy for a bait. That's going in there. Now I need a piece about the length of my thumb, so I reckon that would be about right. There's one bit. There's another bit. Cool, blimey. Cool, this is hard work, is this? And then the tail, don't think we're going to need the tail, so that's going to get put in the bin. So there, 3 pieces of bluey from one fish. Let's do the others. Off with its head. Goes in the bait box. And again, about 3 inches long. And again, 3 inches long. And minus a tail in the bin. So that's 6 pieces, and we'll do the last bait. Head's going in there. I wonder if a bass will take that. They take mackerel heads, why wouldn't they take a bluey head? Don't know. So once again, about that much. There we go. And there. Right, that's me sorted. Morning. You join me on a lovely spring day on the Isle of Sheppey. My mark is between Laysdown in that direction and Shellness to my right up the beach there, and I'm targeting rays this morning. Now, one of the problems that I've had with my rigs is that I'm trying to use up and over rigs, so that's where the rig body has a top clip and you loop the snood over the top, clip it down to the bait clip, so on release the loop of line at the top that's hanging over releases itself and you end up with a bait fish very close to the seabed. Well, one of the problems I've had is the clip's not releasing, so I've got two rigs today which I hope are going to do the job for me. Now this is the mark that I'm fishing today. I took the trouble of going down there at low water just to see whether there are any snags or anything like that, and as you can see it's extremely shallow, and I think this is accounting for one of the problems I've got, which is the loop from the rigs failing to release. I think because the water's barely 3 or 4 feet out there, it's not sufficiently deep enough to enable the rigs to operate correctly. Now, one of the rigs I'm trying is this one, which somebody on the World Sea Angling Forum was kind enough to tell me about. Now, what this incorporates, I don't know if you can see this. It's got one of these little plastic doodads and it's on an SRT spring. I mean, if I get time then I'll put the rig up. So I've got 2 SRT springs. It's adjustable with the stop knot here. The idea is that the whole thing is compressed when the snood is clipped into the bait clip, and on release the thing pops out and releases the top loop. That's one sort of rig that I'm going to try. The other is this one with this rather complicated arrangement of a Gemini clip and a swivel, and the idea of that is that when the rig hits the water pressure pushes that bead up and turns the clip and releases the loop. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'm going to give it a go. Bait for the day are single chunks of bluey. You've seen loads of people bait up with these, so I'm not going to waste your time by showing you how I bait up these. But what I will say is I'm fishing this on a single hook snood rather than a pennel, because I don't think it's long enough to warrant a pennel. It's wonderful to be out on a day like today. I can hear sandpipers over in the distance. There's nobody fishing in my vicinity. The sun's shining. It's a lot milder than of late. I think we've got like 9 or 10 degrees today, which is really comfortable fishing for the beach. Well, it's really comfortable fishing for anywhere really. But considering we had temperatures of -1, feeling more like -6 or something just the other night, I think I can count myself lucky I've got such good conditions for today. Usual oil slicks out on the water. I had trouble casting out one of the rods. The hook keeps falling out of the clip on the lead. That's the one with the complicated combination of swivel and Gemini bent clip. So obviously when it goes slack it just pops out. So it probably means I should use something like a splashdown solo or an aero clip, a Trident aero clip, something like that, or an imp, something that positively locks the hook in place while the lead is on the ground. I do like to off the ground cast because I think that gives me my best distance. So that's a modification we can do to that. The important thing to discover today is whether the loop of the snood going up and over the top clip actually releases. That's really what I want to find out today. I was talking to a chap last time I was down here, and he was talking about the bass fishing in this part of the Isle of Sheppey towards Sheerness, and he said it's quite a noted bass venue. So I'm wondering, would my chunks of bluey be attractive to bass? Are they capable of catching bass? I don't really know. I suppose they might be. Do bass eat anything? You hear different things from different people. Some people say, oh no, you've got to use lugworm, or you've got to use ragworm, or you've got to use squid, or, you know, and other people say to me, no, if they're hungry they'll eat anything. My sense is that roughly that is true. Half an hour till the top of the tide now, and the waterline's creeping up the beach. I've moved my position right up to the wall here, so I can't go any further without being on top of the concrete. So I don't know how far it's going to come up, but we shall see. There's a raised area there I can sit on. I'm sure the water doesn't get up that far, but I seem to remember reading something, hearing something on a YouTube video about the ebb is better for catching rays than the flood. Now, I've just recast my baits, neither of which were tangled, so that's encouraging. So I'm much heartened. At least I feel as if I'm fishing properly, and I'm not worrying about whether my rig's out there tangled and not presenting my baits properly. So at least I'm more confident now in what I'm doing. And confidence, as they say, is everything in fishing. If you're confident, then that translates into success. Well, that's what they say anyway. As you can see, I'm still trying to get to grips with my casting technique. I'm used to casting out 3-ounce leads on a carp rod, and all this heaving massive amounts of lead on heavy rods is a bit new to me, but we'll get there. I felt some weight on here. No, it's only weed. This one's discharged too. soon as the lid hits the sand, the bait clip comes unclipped. I'm going to have to do something about that. To be fair, I mean, that's another pathetic effort. I'm going to have to study some casting tutorial videos. There's loads of them on YouTube. Well, we're well past the ebb now, and I've replaced the left-hand rod rig with a pulley rig. Now normally I use whiting and dogfish as like a tester. If you're catching whiting and dogfish on your rig, then it's reasonably well presented. I know whiting will gobble at anything, even on tangled rigs, but I'm not getting anything today, absolutely nothing. Not a twitch, not a nod on the rod tip, nothing. So that tells me there ain't nothing out there. Out there. Nothing. Nada. I've caught a plastic bagfish. Well, that looks like the end of the session now. I haven't had the slightest sign of a bite. Still, there's always next time. See you again.